Oh, here we go.
Tits.
Oh, hi everyone. So today we're going to have a little bit of fun with this one. We're going to take a look at why the first crewed mission to Mars should be all female. Now, like I said, this video will very much be all about having a good laugh. It's not like I'm an expert in science and the ins and outs of what it takes to get to Mars and put a crew there. I'll leave all the scientific nerd stuff to you in the comments section. I'm just here to get my giggle on. Now, when I posted this on Twitter X the other day, there were a lot of funny comments and hilarious reactions to this. Here are some of the better ones. My mate Chris Mate says, "How will they park the shuttle?" Maya Chavez PhD says, "I have a feeling I know how that story ends." And she's posted a gif of that funny scene from Austin Powers where he's trying to get out of the hallway by going forwards and reversing, but clearly it's just not going to happen. Hey, I resent all of this female are bad drivers nonsense.
She's a shit driver. Don't believe a word she says.
F off. Don't listen to him. I'm really good. Okay, maybe a lot of women are bad drivers, but let me tell you, I can reverse parallel park like a rock star.
This guy was trying to help his girlfriend park on the street and it was not going well. This went on for over 15 minutes while he's standing in the rain, and for some unknown reason, he wasn't just taking it over and doing it himself. She then just had to go straight, and this happened. He then gave up.
Okay, so I'm not going to sign up for Formula One anytime soon, but I can drive. Well, I can. Tess T. Eccles-Brown, PhD, said, "We did this already with the latest Ghostbusters movie, and it sucked." Yeah, that was not a great example of an all-female team being super successful, was it? Harmful Opinion says, "They're never going to make it, are they?" Bayonet and Ricochet just posted a gif of the departure and the rocket's blown to shit. Gent Le Mans says, "They're aware the first crew landing on Mars is most likely not making it back, right?" That's a very good point, Gent. Perhaps we should be filling this space shuttle with some of the more notorious, insufferable feminist pushes that we can find. Kristen Lamb says, "Science has to figure out what a female is first. Apparently, it's confusing." Well, I do believe they actually get into that in this article when they talk about how important it is to embrace diversity in space exploration and that we should have more variety when it comes to the astronauts, including people of all sorts of races and even more of the T's, because it's super important that when we get to Mars and we potentially meet aliens for the first time, the aliens see that we as humans are not bogged down by the concept that sex is binary, that we recognize that the procreation of our species does not depend on a binary system of males and females. No siree, we are a diverse species who have embraced the fact that babies should be allowed to breastfeed from boobs attached to a person with more hair on their face than a frickin' Yeti and are sporting a great big new bulge where their mangalated designer dick now lives. Okay, let's have a quick look at this article. The first crewed mission to Mars should be all female. Here's why. Please enlighten us. It's not about fairness, it's about using every possible advantage. Okay, I don't possibly see how restricting men on this mission would only result in advantages for the success of it, but let's find out. Key takeaways. Women are arguably better suited to long-duration space travel than men. Okay, like I said, I don't know the science behind this. I suppose we'll find out. One advantage is that an all-female crew would likely require significantly fewer resources. As the first crewed mission to Mars will require every advantage possible, it only makes sense that an all-female team should be the first to step onto the red planet. Okay, I know they're going to fill me in on some details here, but I don't really see how it would make sense that having an all-female team would give this mission the most advantages and optimize its rate for success. And not to mention, what if these aliens get a little frisky And they decide to round the women up and create Martian space babies, a brand new race bred to take over Earth and replace humanity. You've just given them a veritable farm of breeding stock and no men to potentially protect them. I swear to God, I could write science fiction. Men have crewed every mission to the moon so far, but when we finally send humans to Mars, it would be wise to send only women, at least at first. Yes, we want to establish a solid foundation of matriarchy on the new planet before we let the men come in and try and impose their patriarchy on the system.
This is a sane place where women rule.
Yeah, you know what I have to say about that?
Mind you, this wouldn't primarily be for fairness. Oh, you reckon? Because it doesn't quite seem fair to exclude men specifically from this mission based on their sex. Whatever happened to picking the best person for the job regardless of what's between their legs? A correction for the rampant sexism that denied American women the title of astronaut until Sally Ride's historic flight in 1983. Oh, yeah? And so what? There's been plenty of bitches gone up into space since then. Women are allowed in space. Why is this a justification to start excluding men? But rather a practical decision based on calculations as cold as deep space. Available evidence bluntly suggests that women would be more efficient and capable crew members on long-duration missions away from Earth. Okay, but you still haven't told me why. It's noted that women are lighter and thus require less oxygen. Okay, they have fewer heart attacks. Their reproductive systems are less at risk from radiation. Seriously? We're going to stop men from going into space because we're worried that radiation is going to make them flaccid for when they come home?
Just work, you stupid fucking thing! Why aren't you doing it? Do it! Get big! Just work, you ugly cunt!
And while we're talking about reproductive systems, think about all the added weight on the shuttle that you're going to need to cater to women's periods. All those bloody tampon boxes and pad boxes and menstrual cups and douches. What the hell is a douche anyway? And when do women need to use it? Women are on average smaller than males. Women use less oxygen, consume less consumables. Not some of the fat pride bitches I've seen on TikTok lately. Produce less carbon dioxide, they have lower mass, once again, TikTok. And take up less volume. Okay, so they're smaller. The argument for an all-female crew is simple. Such a crew would require considerably less support and allow a smaller spacecraft. This would produce a considerable savings in cost. Okay, but do all these things outweigh the benefits that men could potentially bring to this mission? I'm talking about physical strength, reaction time, assertiveness, less likely to be controlled by their emotions, and therefore making them better accomplished at handling crisis situations, which I'm sure are going to be aplenty on a Virgin expedition to Mars and parking the damn thing. I think someone mentioned that. Just take a look at this guy who let his girlfriend or woman drive his motorbike. That didn't end well. It looks like he pushed her down onto the ground to cushion his fall. Just over 60 years ago, the Women in Space program put 19 female aviators through astronaut training. The 13 women who passed arguably topped the men both physically and psychologically. Bullshit! I don't believe it. This whole research was done in the bubble of the Women in Space program. Of course they're going to make the chicks look good. They want more of them in space. The first crewed mission to Mars, which will likely not occur until 2029 at the very earliest, will require every advantage possible, so it only makes sense that an all-female team should be the first to step onto the red planet. Every advantage possible. Okay, so you've listed the advantages as chicks weigh less, they don't eat as much, they don't breathe as much and produce as much carbon dioxide, they don't have penises and balls that'll go flaccid. Like, not once in this article has it mentioned anything to do with skill, real skill, that would far outweigh the benefits of having a male instead. This seems ludicrous to me. I don't know, what are your thoughts? Let me know how you feel down in the comments section. Well, thanks for watching. Remember to go check me out on Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey, and Twitter X. I'd love to hear from you. Tits out, everyone.
Tits.